If you're watching this video, chances are you're trying to figure out which online business to start in 2026. And the problem is everyone's telling you something completely different. Dropshipping gurus will say dropshipping, agency owners will say agencies, trading bros will say trading, and you're stuck in analysis paralysis while everyone else is making money. I've been in the online space for years, let me tell you. I've run agencies, worked with clients across multiple business models, and I've seen what actually works versus what just sounds good in a YouTube video. So in this video, I'm going to rank the top 5 online business models based on 4 critical factors: investment required, beginner friendliness, speed to first result, and long-term sustainability. And at the end, I'm going to show you a business model that scores higher than all of these combined, one that most don't even know exists. But first, let's break down what everyone keeps on talking about. Let's start off with dropshipping. It's probably one of the most marketed online business models right now. And the pitch is simple. You find a product from AliExpress, list it on one of your Shopify stores, run ads, and when somebody buys, the supplier ships it directly to them, so you never end up touching the product. In terms of the investment required, I'd give it a 6 out of 10 because the reality is you do need money to start. You need a Shopify subscription, a domain, apps for your store, and most importantly, you need to run paid ads. Look, you're looking at a minimum of $1,000 to $2,000 to properly test products. And if you start with $200, you're not testing anything, you're literally gambling. In terms of beginner friendliness, I'll give it a 4 out of 10 because dropshipping does sound easy until you actually go ahead and do it. You need to understand e-commerce, product research, Facebook and or TikTok ads, CRO, which is essentially conversion rate optimization, customer service, dealing with suppliers, handling refunds. The learning curve is very steep and expensive, and every mistake costs you real money in ad spend. For the speed to first result, give it a 5 out of 10. If you do know what you're doing, you can make your first sale within a week, but that first sale really doesn't mean that you're profitable. Look, most beginners will spend 2 to 4 months and $3,000 to $5,000 before they figure out if their product even works, and 90% of them literally never get profitable. So in terms of sustainability and longevity, let me tell you the problem that we're facing with dropshipping. It is not a real business. You don't own the product. You don't control the supply chain. Your advantage is temporary. The moment your product works, 50 other dropshippers copy it and market gets saturated. So you're constantly chasing the next winning product, and it's a hamster wheel. So all in all, I would give dropshipping a total score of 19 out of 40. Dropshipping can work, but it requires significant capital, has a brutal learning curve, and isn't sustainable long term because you're competing with thousands of other people selling the same product with the same ads, and it's just not ideal if you're starting from zero. Next, let's talk about trading. Now, whether it's stocks, forex, or crypto, the pitch is the same. You learn technical analysis, predict market movements, make money from price changes, and it sounds simple, but it absolutely isn't. In terms of the investment required, I would give it a 7 out of 10 because trading requires capital. Sure, you can start with $500, but you're not making meaningful money with $500. To make $5,000 a month trading realistically, you need $20,000 to $50,000 or more in capital, depending on your strategy, your risk tolerance, and that's assuming you're actually profitable, which, let's be honest, most traders online are not. In terms of beginner friendliness, I would give it a 2 out of 10 because trading might be one of the hardest business models on the list to actually succeed at because you're competing against hedge funds, algorithms, and professional traders with $1,000,000 fucking systems. Like, the failure rate is crazy. You can literally go ahead and search it up. 90% of retail traders lose money. You need to learn technical analysis, risk management, psychology, multiple strategies, and even then you're probably losing money for the first 1 to 2 years. So the speed to first result, I would give it a 3 out of 10 because yes, you can make your first trade in like 5 minutes, so make your first money, but making consistent profitable returns, that will take you fucking years, months, whatever it may be. Most beginners literally blow their account within their first 6 months. The ones who survived spent 2 to 3 years just getting to break even. And this isn't like a fast result business model. It's just long, painful education. So sustainability and longevity, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 because yes, if you do become consistently profitable, which is a big if, then trading is definitely sustainable and the markets are not going to go anywhere at the end of the day. But the problem is the huge ass fucking skill gap because very few people reach the level where they can actually make $100,000 a month trading. And even if you do, you're constantly stressed, watching charts, managing positions is just not passive at all. So I'll give it like an 18 out of 40 if we add up all the scores because trading sounds perfect, but in reality, it's one of the hardest ways to make money online. You need high capital requirements, brutal learning curve, and most people fucking fail. I mean, let's be honest. Like, if you have $50,000 to risk and years fucking to learn, then maybe, but otherwise, I would just recommend skipping it. Now, next on the list is TikTok Shop. It's one of the new shiny objects that everyone's fucking obsessed with. In terms of the pitch, you make TikTok videos showcasing products, add the TikTok Shop link, and earn commissions when people buy. So that's one way of doing it. Or you can source your own products and sell them directly through the platform itself. The investment required, I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because if you're doing affiliate style TikTok Shop, you need products to showcase, either buying samples or getting them sent from brands. But if you're selling your own product, you need inventory, obviously, and like a drop shipping setup of some sort. Plus, you'll likely need to run TikTok ads if you want consistent results beyond hoping for organic virality. And with that, you're looking at $500 to $1,500 to obviously start properly. In terms of beginner friendliness, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. TikTok Shop is a more beginner friendly business model than traditional e-commerce because TikTok's algorithm can push your videos to massive audience even when having 0 followers. But the problem is you need to understand content creation, hooks, trending formats, and product selection. You're competing with thousands of other creators pushing the same exact products. The barrier is lower than dropshipping, but you still need content skills and understanding of what actually sells. Speed's a first result. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because that's where actually TikTok Shop shines. If you make a video that goes viral, you can get your first sale within 24 hours. I've seen people make their first $500 to $1,000 in their first week because one video literally popped the fuck off. And the organic reach potential is pretty insane. But the catch is it's really unpredictable because you could post 50 videos and get nothing, and then one video, so your 51st video does $5,000 in sales. So it's fast when it works, but it's hella inconsistent. In terms of sustainability and longevity, the biggest problem with TikTok Shop, you're literally building on rented land. You don't own the platform, you don't own the customer relationships, and you're literally competing and dependent on the TikTok's algorithm, and you're competing against it. So if your account gets banned, if TikTok changes the algorithm, if the commission rates drop or the platform loses popularity, your income disappears overnight. Plus, product gets saturated fast. What works today is literally dead in 2 weeks, and when 500 other creators copy it. So you're constantly chasing the next big trend. So all in all, I'll give TikTok Shop a 22 out of 40. Now, the thing is, TikTok Shop can work short term and can give you fast results if you do end up going viral. And it is relatively beginner friendly, but it's not at all sustainable. You're dependent on the platform that could change the rules tomorrow, and you're competing in an increasingly saturated space. However, it is great for cash and terrible for building a real long lasting business. Now we got the next business model, the agency model, where you provide a service to your clients like video editing, copywriting, clipping, web design. The specific skill really doesn't matter. The model is the same. You just trade your time and expertise for money. The investment requirement, this one is super fucking low. I'd give it a 3 out of 10. It's probably one of the lowest investment business models. All you need is a laptop and the software for your skill, and obviously an internet connection. You can literally start with $0 if you already have those 3 things. You don't need inventory, no ad spend is required. You literally just need your skill and outreach. So in terms of beginner friendliness, it's pretty high. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Agencies are beginner friendly because I mean, the path is pretty fucking clear. You learn a skill, you master it, and you offer it as a service. You find clients, deliver the work, and get paid. And the business model isn't complicated at all. The hard part is being good at the skill and then finding clients. But compared to, let's say, trading or drop shipping, it's way more straightforward. In terms of speed to first results, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. That's literally where these agencies shine. You can land your first client within your first week if you know where to look. You can do cold outreach, I don't know, Upwork, Fiverr, or even your personal network. Like there's clients literally sitting everywhere. Your first $1,000 can come within 7 to 14 days. Like it's the fastest model to cash flow on this list by far. Now, sustainability and longevity, I would say it's in the middle, 6 out of 10, because the problem where traditional models is that you're trading time for money. You can scale by hiring a team, yes, but then you're managing people, dealing with client demand, fulfillment headaches, and you hit a ceiling until you build proper systems. Most agency owners are just glorified freelancers working at 60-hour weeks. It's sustainable but not scalable without serious operational complexity. So all in all, I would give the agency model a 24 out of 40. It is pretty solid. It requires a low investment. It's beginner friendly and fast to first results. But the long term problem is the scalability issue. You're either working in the business constantly or you're building a complex operation of employees and overhead. It works, but it really is not perfect at all. Now we have SMMA, social media marketing agency, or freelance brand scaling. It's essentially the agency model, but specifically focused on growing personal brands or running agencies for clients. The core concept is identical. It's just service for money. The investment required is pretty low again, same as agencies, 3 out of 10. You just need a laptop, software, internet, maybe some tools like Go High Level or ad accounts, but you can start with less than $500. The business model really does not require any inventory or product testing, just you and your skill. So beginner friendliness. Now this one, it would be a little harder for beginners. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It's slightly less beginner friendly than general agencies because you actually need to understand ads, funnels, content strategies, analytics, etc. But if you learn the skill properly, getting clients in the same process, cold outreach, referrals, network, the skill ceiling is higher, but the business model is straightforward. Now, speed to first result, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Just like agencies, you can literally close your clients super, super fucking quickly. If you know how to position yourself and you're targeting the right people, you can land a $2,000 to $5,000 a month retainer within your 2 to 3 weeks of starting out. And SMMA definitely has fast cash flow potential if you execute properly. Now, sustainability and longevity, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. SMMA is more sustainable than traditional agencies because you're solving higher value problems. And if you're scaling personal brands or managing ad campaigns, you're getting paid more and clients stay longer because you're literally helping them make money. But you still hit the same ceiling with scaling. You're spending your time for money. You can build a team, but now you're managing fulfillment. It's Yes, it is better than most agency models, but you're still capped without the proper systems. So on that note, it would be a 24 out of 40 as well. It is basically the best version of the agency model if you want to go down that route. Requires a low investment, fast results, and decent long-term potential, but you're still trading time for money at scale unless you build serious infrastructure. So it is good, but there is definitely something fucking better. So based on these criteria, the agency or SMMA model definitely wins. It requires a low investment, beginner friendly, fast results, decent long term, and makes sense why so many people recommend it online. But the problem with all of these business models is they're either capital intensive, time intensive, or you don't control the asset. Dropshipping requires constant product testing, trading requires massive capital and skill, TikTok shop means you don't own the customer, and agencies mean you're trading your time for money. So what if I told you there's a business model that combines the best parts of all of these? So the low investment like agencies, fast results like agencies, but with better scalability and control. Now this is called expertise arbitrage. And before you skip thinking it's some overcomplicated term, let me explain what it actually is and why is the single best business model to start in 2026. So expertise arbitrage is turning your expertise into a scalable education business without needing an audience first. You're not freelancing, you're not trading your time for money, you're just packaging your knowledge into high-ticket coaching or courses. But instead of spending 6 to 12 months building an audience like everyone fucking tells you and hoping people buy, you just validate the offer first by selling it directly in DMs or to your network. And there's 3 core phases that this is built around. So phase 1 is validate. You start by selling one-on-one coaching or consulting. Let's say you know video editing, game development, trading, whatever it may be. You reach out to people in your network or in communities and offer to help them one-on-one, and you get paid $1,000 to $3,000 for 4 to 8 weeks of working together without having an audience, without running content, and just direct conversations. Now, phase 2 is refined. You work with those 2 to 3 clients first. You're literally getting paid $3,000 to $10,000 in total while you figure out what works, what they struggle with, what language resonates, and that's literally market research, but now you're making money doing it instead of just guessing around. And finally, phase 3, it's scaling. Once you've proven the offer works and you have testimonials, you package it into a group program or course. Now you're selling the same transformation to multiple people at once. You build the content, you run your ads, you create funnels, but you're doing it with cash in your pocket and that on what actually fucking converts. So In terms of ranking this business model, investment required, definitely a 2 out of 10. It's super fucking low. You just need a laptop, an internet connection. That's it. You don't need paid ads to start. You don't need inventory. You don't need any software subscriptions. You're just selling your knowledge directly. So that's why it's the lowest business model on the entire list. Beginner friendliness, 8 out of 10. Look, if you have a skill that's proven to work, either for you or people you've taught, this is extremely beginner friendly. You're not learning to trade markets or run e-commerce stores. You're just packaging what you already know and selling it. The business model is super, super simple. You just help people get results and charge for it. Now, speed to first results, 9 out of 10. Again, it's the fastest model for cash. We've had clients close $3,000 deals in their first week without an audience, without content, just one DM conversation. And comparing that to dropshipping, where you're spending $2,000 literally testing products, or affiliate marketing, where you're just waiting for 6 months for organic traffic, expertise arbitrage gets you paid immediately. And sustainability and longevity, definitely a 9 out of 10. The reason why this model wins long term is because you literally own the asset, you own the offer, you own the customer relationship, and you own the content. You're not dependent on anything. You don't have suppliers, you don't have any affiliate programs or clients hiring you hourly. Once you validate the offer and build the systems, you can scale to $50,000 to $100,000 or more per month of group programs, courses, and recurring communities. And because you're selling transformation, not hours, your time isn't capped either. So on that note, expertise arbitrage definitely gets a 28 out of 40. It beats everything because it combines the low investment of agencies, the fast results of agencies, the scalability of courses and coaching, the control of owning your own product, and validation model that eliminates guessing. But here's the part that pretty much nobody fucking talks about. Expertise arbitrage does not require you to build an audience first. Every other model either requires you to learn paid ads, which means you need capital, or months of content creation, which is a lot of fucking time. Expertise arbitrage gets you paid while you validate, and then you scale with certainty instead of just hoping for anything. So to answer the question, what's the best business to start in 2026 to make $100,000 a month? It's expertise arbitrage. You need a low investment. You don't need a lot of money to invest. It's beginner friendly. And if you have a skill, it's the fastest to cash and the best long-term scalability and control. But it is not for everyone. Look, if you do not have a skill that's proven to work, this will not help you. But if you do have a skill, literally can be absolutely anything where you do have expertise that gets results, this is the move for you. The mistake that most experts make is thinking that they need to build an audience before they can actually monetize. They spend 6 to 12 months posting content, hoping to go viral, praying somebody buys when they finally launch. With expertise arbitrage, we flip that completely because you make money first and then you build the audience around that and infrastructure with cash and data in your pocket. If you're thinking, okay, this makes sense, but how do I actually do all this? How do I package my expertise? Where can I find people to sell to? What do I say in DMs? I made a full breakdown video that walks you through the entire expertise arbitrage model step by step. The video is literally here on the screen right now. You can go back to my channel and watch it, and I'll also leave it down below in the description. And it covers the exact system, how to validate your offer, how to close clients in DMs with no audience, and how to scale from there. So if you're serious about monetizing your expertise without wasting months building a following, make sure you watch that video next. And stop guessing, stop gambling with paid ads or waiting for organic growth. Validate your offer, get paid, and then scale with certainty. That's the move for 2026. So the link to that video will be down below in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.